An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. A famous quote by Benjamin Franklin. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and distinction guests. I am Vinod Kumar Manivannan, the Treasurer Toms for the club. Welcome you all to meeting number 455 of Adhari Toastmasters. The mission of a Toastmaster club to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in great self-confidence and personal growth. Now, I would like to invite our club president to start the meeting. DTM Salim is one of the chartered member and mentor of Adhari Toastmaster Club, also a past director of 20. Please join me to welcome our president DTM Mohammed Salim. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod, for the wonderful introduction. I'm here as president of Adhari Toastmasters. First of all, let me call the meeting number 450. It's the 455th meeting, I believe, right?
It's
455, sir. Yes.
It's a 455th meeting to call to order. This I would like to welcome our members. We don't have any guests today, so we'll be welcoming all our members, which is a privilege for me to have you all. This is not easy to have a meeting on a day where people are mostly enjoying their holiday. Many of them have gone on a holiday actually, despite the fact we have taken the initiative to have a meeting. That's a good sign actually. And we will try to have meetings regularly without any cancellation. Despite low attendance, we will still strive to continue. As recommended, we'll try and have joint meetings, or we'll invite more of our guests for the meetings. So with this, I would like to call someone to adopt the agenda as it is, or if there is any changes to the agenda which has been circulated by TMOD, please propose if we can have the changes.
Timer, he apologized. So we ourselves can manage the time, sir. So that is the change.
So there's a change. Please note, Secretary. I believe Usman Yusuf was here. Please note the change. We are going to have So there's a change in the agenda. Instead of Toastmaster Jitendra, we will have Toastmaster Sugandhini. Is she having any role today apart from the grammarian and accountant?
No, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing grammarian and accountant.
And you are taking up timer also, right?
Sorry?
Timer role in case of Jitendra.
Timer role?
Yes, please.
Okay, sir, but I am logging in my mobile, so I don't have any time cards like that.
No, it's okay, no problem.
I think I can take the timer role.
Shall I take the timer role or?
Great.
So there's a lot of, please, who wants to take up timer role? We'll go for an auction now. Whoever wants to take 10 to 1.
I don't have the timing card. So if anybody has the timing card, so they can go ahead with the role.
They can raise the hand. They can raise the hand.
Okay.
So for 5 minutes, five is over, you can show your 5 fingers. When 6 is over, or either way you can show. That's not a problem. There's only one speaker, and we can manage with that actually. There shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Who wants to take it up now? You're going for an auction. Who wants to take it up?
Toastmaster Ramesh.
Okay, Toastmaster Ramesh will be the timer for today. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ramesh, for taking up the assignment at the last minute. So with this, actually, we don't have any changes to the agenda. Can someone propose to move the agenda?
I propose the agenda.
Okay, is there anyone to second the agenda, please?
Toastmaster Yusuf.
Yes, there's someone to second the agenda, please.
Yes, sir. Yusuf.
Toastmaster Yusuf.
Yeah, thank you very much. Toastmaster Yusuf, why I'm insisting on the parliamentary procedure is that I have seen in the past last year district council meeting that no one were willing to come forward and take up follow parliamentary procedures. So this is a good exercise to have it at the club level. So you can minute it that the agenda was proposed by Toastmaster Damodharan and seconded by Toastmaster Yusuf. So with this, we have the agenda in place. So we'll try to adopt the agenda and we'll have the time. Now, talking about my before going into the presidency address, we have somebody who's watching carefully, who is the only lady today in the meeting, Toastmaster Sugandhini, actually working as accountant in AMS WLL, a very dynamic personality, and has a lot of eager to learn, because most of the people have seen, don't take that much initiative, whereas this Toastmaster is always energetic, and any role comes across, he always tries to take it up actually. And versatile personality. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Sugandhini to give her introduction of the grammarian role of the accountant role. Is there anything we need to discuss?
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guest. Today I am doing accountant and grammarian role. For the accountant, it's my responsibility to introduce word of the day. It's falter. The meaning of the word of the day: to lose strength or unsteady. Similar word to this falter word: hesitate and delay. In my grammarian role, it's my responsibility to mark a note of any incorrect grammar used by any speaker, write down the language, grammar usage, and noting incomplete sentence. End of the meeting, I will give my report to general evaluator. For the accountant, the purpose of accountant is to note any overused word or filler sound used by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Also, I will write down filler sounds such as and, well, but, so, and you know. Sounds may be or. End of the meeting, I will submit my report to general evaluator. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sugandhini. Now we move on to the business session. The most important part of any meeting is the business session, wherein I will start with my presidency address, then we will have the business session, and the officers' report will follow that. Now, to start with today's meeting, I would like to share a small story, which most of you would have heard about the story. Actually, it's about the transformation, or we call metamorphosis. In scientific term, we call it a metamorphosis, a transformation of caterpillar to the butterfly. Because this transformation is a totally unique process. It's like a worm. Caterpillar is just like a worm, which starts, a resting period called the pupa. Then it becomes a butterfly with a huge wings and starts spreading the wings. Now, the point here is the metamorphosis is that the caterpillar, which looks like a worm, is transforming like a bird. It's a totally different transformation. Similarly, actually, in our life, actually, we need to go through that transformation. The purpose of being in Toastmasters is that having a metamorphosis, not just being the same person, but changing into a totally different person after joining Toastmasters. People should ask that, how is that you have looking like a changed person, even at work, but family, your speech, your way of talking, your way of behaving things, way of doing things should be totally different from what you have been doing. So that is called metamorphosis. The point what I'm trying to stress here is that it's not just you are a Toastmaster within the four walls of this room. Whenever you go out, you have to behave like Toastmasters. Whenever you speak, they should add some value to your speech. People should start noticing you, that what has had happened to you. Why is that? There's a transformation, or we call metamorphosis, within you. That's the change we are talking about actually. If we need to have that change from the worm to a beautiful butterfly, Because worm, if you look at the worm, it looks a little bit, irritating. You see it, you can't touch it. Whereas you feel like going and touching the butterfly. So you need to touch everyone's life actually, being a Toastmaster. I don't know, I don't want to brag myself, but I have really, helped people, many people for that matter, to come out from this transformation from being a caterpillar to a butterfly. And they all really recognize me out of the Toastmasters. In Adhari Toastmasters, people recognize me that I have made a huge impact in their life actually. And today I have seen people moving out to become entrepreneurs. They have become, you know, good speakers. They have become more confident. My message today is that you need to develop that transformation, the metamorphosis within yourself from what you were before as Toastmasters and what you have achieved in the formation of the being of Toastmasters actually. So you need to walk the life of Toastmasters because many places I've seen people are not boasting themselves or not being recognized as Toastmasters. And every walks of life people should recognize you, telling that no, he is a Toastmaster. He follow him. He will really make a huge difference. So this type, whatever you learn, have to be applied into Toastmasters also, into your real life also. For example, when we say 7 o'clock, we start the meeting, we will strive to have that meeting and try to end up during that time. When we have taken up the responsibilities, we have to volunteer ourselves to take up responsibilities and adhere to it and make sure that once you have volunteered, it's not volunteering, it's mandatory. So you need to make sure that you fulfill that commitment, what you have made to fellow Toastmasters. So with this, actually, I want to see a transformation in each every members here actually. Toastmaster Yusuf, Toastmaster Vinod, Toastmaster Sugandhani, Toastmaster Ramesh, Toastmaster Damodari, whoever has taken this role, please, I would like to see that transformation happening. And I would like to see you as beautiful butterflies flying out, emerging out, after, once you have once you have crossed that path. So please have a transformation in your life. We make use of this platform, what we have the Toastmasters actually. I've been in Toastmasters for 20 years and sky is a limit actually. If you really want to expand, sky is the limit actually. You can reach out to any height if you utilize this Toastmasters movement in a wonderful way. With this, I thank you for having me here. Now we move on to the business session. In that, we will be having our officers report actually. Since Toastmaster Anjana is not here and Toastmaster Unni, I have not seen him here. Can I call upon Toastmaster Damodaran to give his report?
Good evening, sir. As a VPPR, I recently got the all the social media access from Toastmaster Anita Roy. And then I started preparing these flyers and then I posted. Also, I posted this Eid Mubarak flyer also. As in the XCOM meeting, you said to prepare a marketing plan for that one. So Toastmaster Unikishan sir told during this XCOM meeting, so we can have a group of people from some companies, so we can invite them for open house and then to introduce them, tell them to introduce themselves, so they may be not familiar about their introduction. So with that way we can market our club and Toastmasters and then to acquire the members like that. And I also have a few plans that as you said, we can prepare the newsletter, and also that newsletter or any separate article, so that we can our Toastmasters can make an article, so we can post that in Facebook and LinkedIn. Also we can send that to TMI also. This is one thing. And then the magazine which is coming every month in Toastmasters International, I have seen that that some of the members they reply, they send a feedback to the article. So those feedbacks are published in one page, maybe some 7, 8. So we can initiate that one. So we can read the article and we can send our feedback to Toastmasters International. So it might get published. Once it gets published, it will be a great branding for our club. So that also we can do. These are all the few points, sir, I would like to highlight.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Damodar. Now, apart from that, if you go to the Toastmasters website, there
Yes.
it says that find your voice, wherein there is a place where you can publish the club photos for that matter. Some unique photo of Toastmasters, your club meeting, where it gets published in the Toastmasters International website also, and it's been recognized.
Yes,
I will
sir.
just
I
remind
have
me so
seen
that I
that
can
one.
share you the link actually. You can see these are Toastmaster International promotions wherein you can send in some videos, some photos to the Toastmaster International. You get recognized
Okay.
in there actually. So thank you very much for your detailed report, Toastmaster Damodaran. Can I
Welcome,
have a report from our treasurer, Toastmaster Sugantini?
Yeah, good evening once again. For the
Good evening.
treasurer, we have our current fund 222.533. Apologize because still I did not take any reports from Damodaran. He asked me to have come yesterday for a meetup, but I don't have got time to go there. So before our next EXCOM or our next meeting, I will submit all the reports.
Yeah, thank you very
Thank
much. We already discussed about your budget and plan everything. So after you get all the input, you have a template. Based on the template, you can start working. Thank you very much for your update.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
we will discuss in detail in our EXCOM meeting also. Meanwhile, in the club meetings, we will discuss further on the fund portion. Now, can I call upon our secretary, Toastmaster Yusuf, to give his report?
Thank you, DTM sir. Good evening, all again. This is our first club meeting after our installation. So today I'm going to take a minutes of meeting of the club meeting. Already I have received email from Toastmaster Damodara having old meetings, old club meetings, minutes of meeting. So I will record it in file as DTM Salisar suggested on last EXCOM meeting. So apart from this, I need to get senior advice or from Salim sir or the ex-secretary to move forward with my position. What are the roles? Because already DTM Salisar advised to, hello?
Yes, please
Yes,
proceed.
we can hear.
Because my internet is showing unstable. Just to prepare the roster and club calendars and all. So I have to work on that. So that's all
Yes,
from
thank
my
you.
side.
Yeah, Toastmaster Yusuf, actually, what I have seen the minutes of meeting, I think we have circulated in the EXCOM.
Yes, sir.
I believe you have circulated already, right? I haven't gone through it, but I saw the minutes of meeting which has been circulated in EXCOM. Did you do that? Was it
Sorry,
sent?
sir.
EXCOM minutes, actually. I have seen.
Yeah, I have shared in our EXCOM group.
Excellent, excellent. That's what we exactly need, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where, you have really, first impression you have made as a secretary. We really appreciate that. Now, what you can do is like start circulating the minutes of the meeting. After the meeting is over, you can send the minutes to me and EXCOM. We will go through it. Then you can circulate among the members.
So this is only for club meeting, right? Club meeting minutes.
Club meeting, EXCOM meeting already we received it. I have seen it. I have acknowledged that. Let me go through it. But for the club meetings, you can send it to us. Then within 2 days, if you can send it, then we will verify it and we can send it to the members. We'll ensure that the members receive the minutes of the meeting within 2 days.
Sure, sir. So that
thank
will
you.
be published in
Now-
our common group, right? Common member group.
Yeah, that will be in the common.
After-
First, you can send it to me. Let me go through it. If there is
Sure.
any amendments, I will recommend that. Then you can consolidate and send it to the club members.
So both the meeting MOM or only the club meetings, sir?
Only the club.
Club meeting. XCOM
Only-
is only for the XCOM
only for
members.
us. XCOM
Okay.
members, yeah.
XCOM members.
Understood.
Whereas the club meeting minutes you can circulate to the club members. Okay. And moreover, the minutes of meeting of the XCOM we have to discuss during the business session in our regular meeting. Whenever we have an XCOM next meeting, we will tell them, inform the members that we had a club XCOM meeting and these were the points discussed. Since not many members are available today, maybe next meeting, if we have more members, we will mention to them that we had a club XCOM meeting and these were the discussion. Not the entire minutes we will read, but the
Only
main
highlighted.
points we will be discussing. Highlight the points. So thank you
Okay,
very
sure.
much,
Thank you,
Master
sir.
Yusuf, for the wonderful work actually. Now I call upon the Sergeant Arms to give his report.
Good evening, sir.
Toastmaster
As discussed
Vinod.
in the
Good evening, Toastmaster
XCOM, as discussed in the XCOM meeting, I got the club assets from Toastmaster Pramod, and I got the credentials from Sugandhini about email ID and passwords. Further, the required items will check and give you the purchase order in the physical meeting.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vinod. Meanwhile, myself and Damodaran can assist you in finding a venue actually, because some of the venues we have proposed, I think Toastmaster Uni Krishnan has proposed the PGF Toastmasters venue. We do have the venue at the Kanu Villa also. So any venue which we can suitably look for our future physical meeting. And most probably from starting September, we will have physical meetings so that we can invite more of our members.
Sure, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much. Now we move on to the next part of the agenda, which is any other business. Is there any other business we need to discuss now? Normally, in most of the clubs, actually, we do have members discussing a lot in terms of any other business. I encourage members to discuss in detail during the any other business matter, so that you can improve more of the parliamentary skills without debating. We can come to a consensus.
I have one concern.
Yes, please.
Sir, regarding the subcommittee for PR. So as I said in the club officers training, so there will be always a subcommittee for PR, because PR job is to creating the posters and the content and publishing in the social media. So it will be difficult for handling it as a single person. So I request for a subcommittee for this PR.
Yeah, that is very much required actually. See, this is where we have to utilize the members actually. So who are good in, for example, Madam Gauri can help you in content creation. Toastmaster Ain, though she is not a PR now, still she is a member. She can help you in designing posters. I can also help you in designing posters. So what we need to do is we have to form subcommittees. That's what we discussed last meeting. We will assign them some roles. For example, one of the member can take up the lead for picnics and start working from now on for the picnic, because September started. Then we'll have picnic in December. So we can start working on it. So among all the members we have, we need to identify members who will be suitable for each subcommittee. If we have 17 members, we have to divide among ourselves and announce in the next meeting. In the XCOM, if you have anybody in particular, you can tell that these members are required for the subcommittee and we can allocate them. No worries. If the member is willing to take it up, we can really allocate them. That's not a concern. Is there anything else to discuss, please?
Sir, only one question I have. During that COT, the officer training, regarding the secretary position, the minutes of meeting reading. So they had
Yes.
two suggestions. So some of them are suggesting to post the minutes of meeting in the WhatsApp group, which are where the club members all have. So no need to read it in the club meetings due to the time constraint, or guest doesn't want to hear all these things. So what is the exact procedure, sir? Because they
See,
have
the
two
club
suggestions.
reading of the minutes is the club decision. You can mention in the minutes of meeting that we will take a consent from the members if it should be read or can be circulated by email or WhatsApp.
Okay.
So next meeting, when we have a quorum of a club is having 50 plus one member that constitutes the quorum. Today, we don't have a quorum to conduct any business in terms of taking any decision. So these type of amendments to the club constitution and bylaws can be done only if we have a quorum among our members. That means majority of the members have to be present, and based on that, we can change the bylaws or the procedures what we are following.
So until that time, we can read it during the meeting.
Yeah, you can circulate in WhatsApp now. If you want, you can next meeting, we will allow you to read actually. So in that, you can mention the minutes of the meeting number, you can mention, and we will allow you to read. If any member is objecting, then we will take a consensus of the members, and some of the members might say that it is time consuming. In my opinion, I feel the secretary has to read the minutes. That should be kept as mandatory.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
That we will take a call based on the members' feedback.
Okay, sure.
Now we move on to the most important awaited session. Actually, though we have only 6 members, actually this is a wonderful meeting so that we could discuss in detail. Now we are going to have a person who is really very active. Actually, for me, actually, this gentleman has, I could see a future leader of Adhari and future leader in the district. Actually, taking a lot of initiative. I know it's not that easy working as a metallurgical engineer, an inspection engineer in Banagas, because I know people working with Banagas. It's a very time consuming and demanding job. And this person has been in Bahrain for 6 years, and his contribution along with his wife has been enormous to the club. Actually, I really appreciate this Toastmasters who has taken, because what we have discussed in the XCOM and what he has to get, he got training in the COT, he has been implementing. And today you could witness that he has put forth all his effort in making this meeting happen. And the slides which have been a witness here, I could see a lot of slides he had prepared. He had, highlighted a lot of things, and he's been constantly touched, asking about the meeting. Can we do this way? Do this way. So the success of any meeting depends on the TMOD. The TMOD wants to drop the meeting, he can really do it, or he wants to make the meeting more entertaining. So today we have such gentleman, Toastmaster Damodaran, who is the TMOD, who has taken all the initiative to ensure the meeting is on, and we are here witnessing the success. It's not that we should have 30 members, 40 members. Even with 6 members, 7 members, we can really have a successful meeting. So please join me in welcoming Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Damodaran.
Thank you, DTM Salim sir. Thank you very much
Have a round of
for
applause, please. Can we all have
wonderful introduction.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good evening, Toastmasters and distinguished Toastmasters. I welcome you all for this 455th meeting of Adhari Toastmasters Club. It was officially announced on June 6th, 2022 that Adhari is going to conduct its 450th meeting on June 20th. Hardly 2 weeks left on our hand for preparation. It was a great teamwork and support from distinguished Toastmasters. A team was created by Toastmaster Anita Roy, who was the event chair of the 450th meeting. Everything was organized well, had a short and quick meeting in between to go through the progress, and we successfully conducted the 450th meeting of Adhari. I have seen other clubs conducting their 75th, 100th meeting, but Adhari 20 years of journey, its commitment without any falter, built its true legacy, not just by words, by saying, but by action, by performing. Adhari keeps its legacy. I thank all distinguished Toastmasters, senior Toastmasters, and fellow Toastmasters for your dedication with Adhari. Especially during this pandemic period, there were two Toastmasters who took us this toughest period without any falter. They are Toastmaster Kamala Onikrishnan and our immediate past President, Toastmaster Pramod Pillai. I thank both of them for their tremendous support during the pandemic period. Adhari keeps its legacy always. What a true example of today's theme. Well done is better than well said. Dear Toastmaster, it's very honor for me to conduct this TMOD today. Now we'll move on to the next, our role is to introduce timer. I would like to introduce today's timer. He is living in Bahrain for the past 15 years, working as a project manager in a private company, immediate past Area 36 Director, Adhari's past Treasurer, Sergeant-at-Arms of Bahrain Panbalagal Sangam, popularly called as Agni Ramesh. Dear Toastmasters, please help me to welcome Toastmaster Ramesh Ramakrishna to explain the role of timer.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, Toastmaster Damodara. Today I am playing as a timer and I am here to notify the timing criteria. For the education session, we have only one speaker, 5 to 7 minutes. So 5 minutes I will alarm green and 6 minutes I will alarm yellow, and at the 7 minutes I will alarm red with the grace time of 30 seconds. Then we have a table topic session of 1 minute green, 1.5 minute yellow, and 2 minutes red. During the session of evaluation, I will alarm 2 minutes green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 minutes red. Thank you. Over to Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh, for the detailed responsibilities of timer role. Now, it was in 1980s. There were three friends, Rajesh, Prakash, and Karthik. All were jobless and aspiring to get a job. They met daily in a tea shop in their village and sit there and talk about how they will serve the country once they get a job. They were telling that the government is not good, system is not performing well. If one of the friends is saying, if I were appointed as an IPS officer, I would change the society. Later, Karthik got a job and shifted to another city and couldn't meet his friends after that. Karthik was busy with his job and learned that it was not so easy to do work than it was said. After a few years, he had a chance to pass by the village. He thought that all his friends might got job and settled in different places. When he saw the tea shop from distance, shockingly, all his friends were still sitting there and speaking how they will change the society if they get the job. Karthik came out of this shell and started performing, whereas their friends were still talking. Dear Toastmaster, that is why well done is better than well said. Moving to the next session of our meeting. It is the joke session. So I'll be handling this. So any occasion for our life will be remembered. It was funny and happy. I believe this meeting will also be remembered in such a way. Let me start. Teacher, which one is closer, sun or Africa? Student, sun, teacher. Why? We can see the sun from here, but we cannot see Africa from here. There were 3 friends in an office. During their lunch break, one by one opened their lunch box. First person, oh no, today also the same curd rice. For the past 5 years, I am having the same for lunch. Next person opened the lunch box. Oh no, today also the same chapati and channa. Third person opened the lunch box. Oh, today also upma. The friends were frustrated and took a decision. If tomorrow also the same lunch box with the same menu, we all jump out from this 2-story building. Next day, they opened the lunch box. It was the same menu. Curd rice person jumped, chapati person jumped, upma person also jumped. They were wounded heavily and admitted at the hospital. Curd rice person's wife was crying and telling, if you asked for different menu, I might have cooked for you. Chapati's person's wives also had the same thing, said the same thing. Now, Upma's wife was very angry and shouting to her husband, you are cooking the upma daily and taking it to the office. You fool, if you want different, why didn't you prepare something else? Next. Teacher, why are you late? Student, because of the signboard on the road. What type of signboard? Asked the teacher. Student says, the sign says, school ahead, go slow. There lived a husband and wife. Husband came from office and somehow argument started and between husband and wife, and they stopped talking each other. While going to bed, husband remembered that there is a meeting tomorrow early, so he wants to wake up early. The meeting will be by 7 a.m. So he afraid he might miss his alarm. He wants his wife to wake him up. Since he had fight, he wrote a note, dear, please wake me up by 5 a.m. and kept near to her. Next day morning, he woke up and he see the clock. It was 7:30 in the morning. He was furious and searching for his wife. She was sitting in dining table and having her coffee relaxedly. He went to her and shouted, why didn't you wake me up? I wrote a note. Didn't you see that? She coolly points towards the bedroom. He went to the bedroom and saw there was a note, honey, it is 5 a.m. Please wake up. Science teacher, oxygen is a must for breathing for life. It was discovered in 1773. Student, thank God, I was born after 1773. Otherwise, I would have died without oxygen. Thank you. That's the end of the joke session. Hope you might have enjoyed.
Yes, Damodaran.
Yeah, most of them were personal jokes actually. Thanks for
I
sharing.
think
Now, next we'll move to our main core part of the meeting, which is education session. Today we have one speaker. The speaker is going to deliver his speech from Pathway Innovative Planning, Level 1, Project 2, Write a Speech with Purpose. Before introducing our speaker, I would like to introduce our speech evaluator. That's the same as timer, so I can skip the introduction. So I would like to ask Toastmaster Ramesh to explain the objective of this speech objective.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again, Master of Ceremony and fellow Toastmasters. Today, speaker Toastmaster Vinod will deliver case level 1, project 2. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Title of the speech is Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. Time is 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you. Over to Master of Ceremony.
Small suggestion, sorry to interrupt. Toastmaster Vinod, I think to observe the time, you can pin Mr. Toastmaster Adhari Ramesh.
Yeah, okay.
You can pin his video.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yusuf. Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh, for the speech, for telling the speech objective. Today's speaker is working as a design and estimate engineer in Keller, Bahrain. He is living with his family, recently blessed with baby boy. We recently went for dinner together to a non-vegetarian restaurant. I asked him, are you a vegetarian or non-vegetarian? But he said, I am a gravitarian. Gravitarian? What is that? Gravitarian means they eat gravy from non-veg curries, but not the piece. Eats biryani rice, but not the piece. Please welcome Toastmaster Vinod Kumar Manivannan to deliver the speech. His speech title is Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs, Toastmaster Vinod Kumar Manivannan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Learn continuously. There is always one more thing to learn. A famous quote by Steve Jobs. In a home, there were 2 kids. First son asked to mom that, can I watch TV while reading? Mom told, why do you want to watch TV during the study time? She refused. The second son asked, Mom, can I read while watching TV? Mom started wondering, oh, my son loved to read even in the TV time. The permission granted. Both demanded same item with the same person, but only one got achieved. Because the second one knows how to present his statement. And this is applicable to all of our life. How we are presenting is a pretty much important point to achieve it. Here in Toastmaster Club, we are all looking for developing presentation skill to attract the client or audience. Percy conducted a survey and 70% of people start believing that presentation skills are important to enhance their career. Okay, presentation skill is important. Why from the Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs is a well-known person, chairman and CEO of Apple, globally accepted as the best communicator. I go through this book named called Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs, written by Karim Gallo. He extensively made his research over 20 years of Steve Jobs' presentation and published a book called Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs spent his lot of his time for the preparation work rather than preparing his slides. He suggests spend 1/3 of your time for the slide preparation. Rest of the time, do write your presentation. Still, many of the CEOs writing their presentation in a notebook, how they are going to deliver the story. The author proposed 9 secret points to wind up the presentation secret. To wind up on time, I'm presenting 6 number of presentation skills followed by the Steve Jobs. Secret number 1, the topic. It must be crystal clear, like a Twitter headlines. And you have to follow the simple grammar rule, which is subject, verb, and object. And we have to follow the simple words for the easy communication. Steve Jobs replaces the text or bullets with a picture and the simple word. Our brain is very lazy to read the sentence or the unknown word. It processes the image easily. Secret number 2, why it is important to you. First, we have to describe about the villain, the problem, and then we have to introduce about our hero, how this product is going to helpful. And we have to include the humorous content, also the songs, which means the important or catchy items to be included in the presentation. Secret number 3, 3 key messages only. No matter our products may have thousands of features, but human brain can only remember 3 set content. Therefore, include only 3 points in your presentation. Secret number 4, meta-based analogy. Compare your product with a physical example or understandable concept. For an example, during the iPhone launch, Steve Jobs expressed the internal storage as you can download 1,000 songs instead of telling this is having 64 GB. Secret number 5, customer or third-party endorsement. No matter how nicely we are presenting about our topic or our product, rating from the users really matters. That's why every software is asking the star rating in their prescription. If possible, include the customer feedback or include for the presentation to share your screen. Secret number 6, video clip. Human can continuously concentrate up to 10 minutes only. Therefore, give a pause or a break between 10 minutes or include minimum duration videos to engage the customer. Along with the presentation, Steve Jobs prepared for the question and answer session. The interesting thing is, he categorized the question as a keyword and respond with the prepared answer. For an example, any technology-related question, he used to respond with prepared technology-related answer. For any price-related queries, he used to reply with prepared commercial-related answers. I told my friend that, Macho, I want to do something in my 30s. He told, you can become a father again. Steve Jobs started becoming a famous personality and a billionaire after his 30. I strongly recommend to go through the book Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs by Calvin Garrow take it as a roadmap for your presentation skills. And also see the Steve Jobs videos connecting 3 dots as a lifeline. In YouTube, there are 35,000 of Steve Jobs video. And this is a higher number of high-profile CEOs videos in YouTube. If you're following these steps, everyone will sit at the edge of the seat and start studying to your performance. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod Kumar, for your wonderful speech. Next, before moving to our next section, many of you might know Tamil writer Jayamohan, living in Nagarkoil, Tamil Nadu. On 25th December 2013, on Christmas Day, he made an announcement in his website. Starting from January 1st of 2014, for 10 years, he's going to write the entire Mahabharata in a modern novel form. And the novel name is Venmurasu. It will be in 10 volumes and each volume of 500 pages. He said daily 1 episode of the novel will come from his website. Many critics and other writers made criticism it is a huge task. What if he cannot finish it? Why Mahabharata? Many criticism, but he ignored and started writing. On June 2020, he completed 3 years ahead of his promise, but instead of 10 volumes, he wrote 26 volumes, total of 25,000 pages. It is one of the biggest novels in the world and only biggest novel in India. Writer Jayamohan was well said and well done. Dear Toastmasters, we'll move to our next session, that is table topic session. To conduct the table topic session, we have a seasoned Toastmaster working as a system administrator. He lives in Bahrain for the past 9 years, married and happily living with his wife and son. Adhari's past VPPR. Please welcome Toastmaster Yusuf to conduct the table topic session. Over to you, Toastmaster Yusuf.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, for a wonderful introduction. And my dear fellow Toastmaster, good evening again. Today, my role is as a table topic master. I have few topics. The purpose of table topic master is to facilitate the table topic where the guest and member will have the opportunity to practice impromptu speaking. I will randomly choose the speaker and I will give you the topic. First, I would like to give a topic to Toastmaster Ramesh. Toastmaster Ramesh,
Yes.
what is the most valuable life lesson learned from your parents? What is the most life lessons learned from your parents?
Thank you, table topic master. Actually, I 100% agree with this topic because every parents are our teacher who teaching lessons for leading a successful life. We have so many teachers from schools, colleges, and even in our Toastmasters also we have mentors. But the parents are the most important teachers where we are learning so many things. This I could understand after I became a parent. Before that, I used to criticize sometimes my father, mother, why they are very strict, why they are very stubborn. That time I used to think. Now I got the answer of all these whys. Because for any children, until they used to take one decision, this is the right and roles and responsibilities of the parents to guide them in a right way. Whether it may be in a strict or lovable way, it depends on the individual attitude. But always parents are our unforgettable mentors in our life. Thank you. Over to table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh, for your wonderful explanation. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sugandhini. Toastmaster Sugandhini. Can you speak some word? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the best decision you have ever made? What is the best decision you have ever made?
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Yeah. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guest. In my life, I made a best decision that I came to Bahrain. Almost 5 years, my sister tried to go somewhere to work, but she didn't get any chances. But suddenly one time, somebody asked me, can you come with me for Bahrain? But first time I refused. I said I can't come because I always be with my mother and sister. So I told I cannot come because they forced me to go India to study. So I always want to go there. Sometimes in my mind, I don't want to go there because I pampered with my mother and sister so much. So suddenly my sister told me, she did not force me, but she told me, if you go for the Bahrain, you will get a good financial support and you can also support us. So that's why I thought, okay, I can go and see how also I need a change. So I came here and so many problem I go through being alone, but I am staying with my family, but still I gone through so many problem, not even any personal problem, but to survive here without my sister and mother. So in my life, the best decision I made ever is came to Bahrain. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sugandhini. And next, I would like to call our TMOD, Toastmaster Damodaran.
Yes, Toastmaster. Yes.
What is the nicest thing someone has ever done for you? What is the nicest thing someone have ever done for you?
Good evening, Toastmaster Yusuf. Good evening, everyone. What is the nicest thing ever done for me? So, by somebody. So the nicest thing somebody else done for me is my wife, Vanmati. The reason is, I'll go back to the memory and then I'll share you a few things regarding the marriage proposal. So I was in Qatar, and the day when I reached Trichy for vacation, so my father gave this biodata of Vanmati. So I said, okay, let me go. But when we go there, in front of everybody, you should not ask whether you like this girl or not. Okay, then we went, and then the moment I saw her, I don't believe in some superstitious things, but when I saw her first, the moment I realized she is my life partner. Then I was seeing everybody, whether somebody can ask whether you like the girl or not. I say immediately, yes, I want to marry her, but nobody asked. So the finest thing someone else did in my life is my wife, Toastmaster Vanmati. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Yusuf.
Thank you, Toastmaster Damodaran, for sharing your personal experience. Last but not the least, I would like to call DTM Salim sir. Salim sir.
Yes, dear. I'm with you here. Yes, please. I think I should have received the two topics, but nevertheless, I hope this topic would be interesting. Yes, please.
Sir, for you, someone coming to you and saying, sir, my son, he's not listening to me. Just give some best advice to the children. Not your children, other children. Someone bringing his children or his son to you or a daughter to you. They're asking you to give the best advice for him.
Yeah,
So what would be the
thank you,
best?
Master. Actually, to be very honest, actually, I have come through this situation many a times. So I've been doing counseling for children, and I take 1 hour session. I don't charge them. The first person who came to me for counseling was my hotel receptionist. She was my colleague, and she had a son who was not performing well. And she wanted me to, help him in his studies. So I had met him alone. Actually, I don't meet along with the parents. That's one thing as a condition, I tell them I don't meet along with the parents. So it was 1 hour session. I sat down for 1 hour actually, and I identified his problem, and I really helped him in overcoming his problem. And what happened was this boy who was not doing great uh, really was the eye opener after the session, and he cleared his exams and he joined the Bombay Institute of Hotel Management actually, because in his mind somebody had plotted that you can become a chartered accountant, but he had never interest towards chartered accountancy. So I had cleared and I identified that he'll be well suited for this position, and he joined and he was a topper in his college when he left the college. After that, actually, this same boy had some issues, and he was after the flying out with colors, and he started working in one of the prestigious hotels. After that, something went through him, and again the mom approached me. So I told them that, see, there is something which you need to sit down. Now you need to sit down with your son, not call me for everything, because there are certain things which teen might overgrow at times. So I'm not here for every time to come and counsel your son. You need to sit down now, because one thing what I mostly do for educational counseling, and I don't do on personal counseling. So this is what happened. So this boy actually, I take pride in doing counseling, and I have been successful in that. Many children have come to me, and I really, I don't advise them. I first listen to them. The majority of the people stop listening and start giving advices, which I don't do. Even for my children, I don't give advices. I listen to them. If anything I could be a help, I have them. And thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful explanation. With this, I will hand over the control to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Damodaran. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yusuf, for conducting a very nice table topic session with very nice topics. Now, I would like to ask timer, all the table topics, timers are qualified for voting.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Master of Ceremony. You want the individual timing?
No, that you can provide during the general validation,
Okay.
but just
So,
all are qualified.
yeah, all are qualified.
So, even I don't know how to create this polling. So I request, can all the members can send this to send a personal chat.
Your private chat.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, please. I'm trying. You can send the message for this best table topic speaker now. Vinod and Toastmaster Vinod and Toastmaster Yusuf can also. Yeah, I note that. Toastmaster Yusuf, please, you can also. Salim sir, you can also please. Salim sir. Yes. Okay, it's done. Now, let now I'd like to move for the next session. So the next session is education module. I would like to introduce our chartered member of Adhari, our past District 20 Director, mentor of Adhari Toastmasters Club, our beloved club president, DTM Mohammed Salim. I welcome you, sir. Actually, yesterday evening I had a chat with DTM Salim, sir. Sir, there is only one speaker for tomorrow. Can you take any education module? Immediately he said yes, and then he gave the title. Thank you very much, sir. Even we are less in numbers, but we have the privilege to see your education schedule, education module. Sir, with this one, after the education session, you please continue for the general evaluation as well. Okay, sir. I'll stop my screen. One second. How to stop my screen?
Already, I think
it already
my screen
stopped,
is being shared.
Stop. Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Okay,
sir.
so thank you very much. Actually, now I'm in a dilemma. After listening to Vinod's speech on Steve Jobs on how to do presentation, I'm in a dilemma because he had almost covered all the points actually. But it's been difficult for me to do a presentation in comparison to Steve Jobs, but still I will do some justice. Now, what happens is that most of them they are a bit hesitant to contest in the speeches actually. They say, no, sorry, it's not my cup of tea. I don't want to contest. But there are certain people who are willing to contest without any guidelines. They still want to continue. Today, I'm going to give you an idea on how to start preparing for your international speech contest. Now, the point you might be asking, sir, why is it so early? Because we just started the term. Our club contest will be somewhere in, say, December, and we still have 6 months time. Why are you pushing us? The point is that those who have taken up speech contest, they have already started preparing since last year. Those who are interested to become a champion for this year, let me remind you that we are a bit late actually for that matter. Why I'm stating this is that I've been mentoring many champion speakers. For your information, actually, the international speech winners of District 20, the first place and third place were mentored by me. But I couldn't disclose because I was an IPDD, and I don't ask them to disclose because there are some people who don't like me or they might have a grudge, they might not vote them. So I don't recommend for them to publicize that I've been mentoring. But this year I was mentoring 3 people out of the 9 contestants in the international speech contest. So I'm very happy that the first place and the third place winner were the mentees of mine. And the first place winner Toastmaster is from Kuwait actually, and I remember training her 3 years back actually when I went to Kuwait. He was a participant in one of the workshops, which was attended by the past international president DTM Balraj Arunachalam. He's from Sri Lanka and he was the past international president. And he attended part of my workshop and he said that if you conduct this type of workshops, I'm sure there will be champions emerging, and that is what we have been successful. Now, today's workshop, it wouldn't take more than 15 minutes, just a opening, whereas the one I conducted in Kuwait took almost 3 hours. So I'm just condensing my slides and I'm just going to give a gist of it. If you really are interested, you you can start working on your speeches. Now, first and foremost is the winning attitude. Actually, lot of people come to me and say that, see, I want to just give it a try. If I win it, if it's okay. If I don't make it, yeah, I wouldn't be bothering, because that is not a winning attitude. The moment you come and say that I want to give it a try, that means you are already a loser. So I members who come up with this statement telling that I want to give it a try, on the face I tell them you're a loser. This is how I start with it. Because people, I don't feel offended or feel anything that I shouldn't speak the way. But to the point, I tell them you are a loser. So come with a winning attitude that I want to win. Why should you waste your time and waste my time in preparing a speech where it is not accepted? And there should be a compelling reason for you to be in the contest. If there is no compelling reason, there are people who have sold their jewelry. One example I could say is Toastmaster Dhananjaya Hektarati from Sri Lanka. He had sold his wife's jewelry to become a champion speaker. I'm sure he should have earned that gold back actually. But the thing is, like, there should be some sort of a compelling reason, a burning desire within you actually, that which doesn't stop you from sleeping. And sense of urgency, because people say that, let me give a try this year. If I don't make it this year, I will give a try next year. There's nothing next year. I have seen contestants contesting for more than 15 years. One of my mentees is still, contemplating to become a world champion of public speaking. It's been since we started training. It's been almost 13 years. And moreover, there should be a passion that I need to win. If we don't carry that passion, then there's no point in contesting at all. So these are the pitfalls where you need to overcome. Always believe that you can win. Before going into the contest itself, you need to know what is the judging ballot. On what criteria will you be judged? That is the most important thing, because it's not that even if you go for a dance contest or a sweet singing contest, there is some certain criteria. So you need to have these steps you need to put forth. So in speaking also, there is a judging ballot where you need to really, understand the ballot. If you don't understand the ballot, you cannot win. And secondly, the speech is not judged by the audience. It's judged by few judges, say 8 to 10 judges. And you need to win the judges. Because normally I say after the contest, actually, people coming and telling, oh, judging was poor. Yes, judging was poor because you didn't set a benchmark for the judges. Because there can't be a win-win situation wherein you can say that I tried my best, but judges didn't vote. It's not that you can be at the mercy of the judges, rather you have to snatch the trophy from the judges. That's what I tell them. Don't come and complain that I didn't win because my competitor was good. Between you and your second place winner, there should be a leverage of 40%. If you don't have more than 40%, you have no right to complain. That means you should be above average than the second place winner. How did that happen actually? Because you have to guess, because it can't be like, okay, the win-win situation where judges might think, okay, should I vote for this? Shall I vote for this? No. After witnessing the speech, there is a clear winner by default. So that is where you need to write speeches for your judges. Because this time, actually, one of my contestants failed because I didn't identify the judges. That's a different story, which I will discuss in a later part. Now, the content is king actually, because most of the time there is a saying that no, the gestures and voice contributes more, and only 8% of the contents contribute towards your winning of the speech. Yes, I do agree. But for me, actually, as a content creator, content master, I could call myself, content is the king. Actually. For me, content is king. If you don't have a compelling content, then there's no point in having gestures. I'll come back to that on that. But Content is the most important key in any speech for the people. And you need to understand the techniques in delivering that. There's a technique because every year there is a set of technique which has been followed by world champions. You need to understand what is the technique in trend. And it's not that you finish your club level, you carry that speech until the next level actually. There is an improvement at every level. So you need to understand that there's a constant change happening at every level. I have seen many people coming up with fake stories. Never fake your story. Always be original. Something which really happened in your life doesn't mean not bring in fake stories. And add life in your speech. When I say life, you could see that the I is highlighted actually. In the life of your speech, where are you? It's not about talking about Mother Teresa or Mahatma Gandhi. The speech should be revolving around you. You are the center of attraction. So any speech you do, you should be in the speech as a live person actually. And identify a key message. People, when coming to message, they fumble a lot actually. At the end, that is where, we have hiccup or we call sudden death, wherein you do a wonderful speech, but at the end, we collapse. We don't convey key message. The message, when I say identify a key message, sometimes we deliver 3 to 4 messages. Every time we deliver 3 to 4 messages, audience are confused. What is that message? Take home message for me. That's where the confusion comes in. So again, when I talk about content, don't prepare your speech just for the sake of using gestures. Okay. Just because I have natural gestures, don't forge in your speech actually. And avoid speech preparation with forcing unnatural vocal variety. You don't need to do these two things actually. If you have a strong content, the gestures and the voice are to enhance the quality of your speech, but not to supersede the quality of your speech. It shouldn't be overpowering. Okay, that shouldn't be overpowering in terms of if you talk about Damodaran joke session, we talk about the tiles are the product nutrition. Okay, what is the mixture composition? Is your rice, your curd, your garnish actually. Can you add mustard instead of 2 gram? If you add 10 gram, what will happen? Every bite you will have that mustard coming in and it will be overpowering. I don't know. So don't overpower your speech with unnatural gestures. Similarly, your curry leaves actually. Don't add more curry leaves, which spoil the content of the curd rice actually. There are 4 or 5 curry leaves on the dish, which you might be, but if you every bite if you have a curry leaf with a vocal variety, unforced vocal variety, then what will happen? The dish would not. So there is a composition, but here the composition is your rice and the curd is the main ingredient. So that's a content part. Whereas you add spices like curry leaves, you can add, sometimes you can add red chili, whole red chili, dry red chili, you can add some, mustard seed, but without overpowering the dish. So I'm just trying to give an example in a simple language. Now, there is 2 methods actually, which I really recommend people. Is the clay model method. Now, what is a clay model method? As a child, you should have all done a clay with a clay, right? You take clay, different colors of clay. What you do is you make a base round, which is their head. Then you take small clay, you put an eye to that, you add your nose to that, you put 2 legs, your ears. So this is where you form a clay method with a structure. Okay, that means what we do is we take the content, what is the message or the body of the speech. Once you have what is the point you are going to talk about. So if, for example, I'm going to talk about my laziness for that matter, that becomes my core strength. Then what happened? The opening, what should I add out of my laziness? What really had impact in my life actually, and what I have lost in my life because of my laziness. You start adding components. You got the point. So A clay model method is have a central theme and you add points to that actually. There's another method which we talk about is the stone carving method. If you ask a sculpture, he will see a stone and he should have visualized there is something yes ideal inside the stone. So what he does, he removes unnecessary bits and pieces from that stone to make it as an idol. Similarly, what you do is in a fact-finding report or a speech which requires like scientific um, verification, or you start putting all your points together and you chip out, remove which are not required. For example, Dhananjaya had actually 2000, if I'm correct, he was 2016 world champion. I'm not sure about the year. He had, speech for more than 20 minutes, same speech. But what he did, he chipped out which is not required. Then he formulated a speech for 6 minutes, 30 seconds, or 7 minutes. So you have more content to that, and you start editing, you start removing which are not required. In a movie also, when they do a movie, for example, the movie Vikram, it's for 2 hours 30 seconds. Now 2 hours of 30 minutes. That movie should have shot for more than 4 hours actually. Then the editor and the director sits down and he cuts down scenes which they find it's not relevant so that we can convey the message within 2 minutes 30 seconds. You got the point. So this is how they do. In the previous slide, if you look at the clay model method, what do they do is they have a theme. Then the director calls all his assistant directors, tell them, okay, we have a theme. Now you tell me where we add the songs, where we add the fight, where we had the humor portion, what we do in the opening. So this is called the clay model method. Whereas the next step is stone carving is the editing part, where you have taken all into account but you are limiting yourself. You are removing some of the portions to make it very just actually. So this is how your speech should be. These are the two methods which are and limit your characters actually. We are not making Ponniyin Selvan or Bahubali in 7 minutes. It's not easy to introduce all the characters into the 7 minute speech because what Bahubali they did in two versions, 6 hours of movie. So they could introduce each of the character, each one character they could introduce, bring life to that character so they could speak. But in your speech, you have 7 minute speech. You cannot have more than 3 or 4 characters in your speech. So it could be the central person. If a person like, for example, Damodaran can have his wife as a member of the speech, or Toastmaster Sudendani can use her mother or a sister as an inspiration. Can't have more than 4 characters. If you're going more than 4 characters in your speech, that means it's a disaster for you to introduce each one character to the speech. So I recommend to have 3 or 4 characters maximum in your speech. Don't add too many characters. We are not doing a Bahubali movie. Now, like I remember Toastmaster Vinod mentioning that the comic part of it. In your speech, actually, when you do a speech, 7 minute speech, you are a comedian. Comedian in the sense you start with humor for 3 minutes to keep the audience engaged. 3 to 4 minutes, you keep the audience engaged. When I say villain, there is a villain within actually, wherein it's a very complicated subject actually. The villain in the sense you are conflicting. For example, you have a habit or you have a behavior which you wanted to get rid of it, whereas a third party or external factor comes and influences it. That will come up on the slide. Then you become a hero in your own speech. Here, actually, you don't portray that you are a hero, that you have done something unique, whereas you make them feel, the audience also feel that, okay, if I do this, I also can become a hero. I can become an extraordinary person. So you need to keep the audience entertained in the beginning. You are conflicting with your own personality, wherein you overcome that and you become an hero in the latter part. So here, the sequence is going to be a roller coaster ride. It's going to be opening. There's always a conflict within your speech. If you look at any world champion speak, there is always a conflict within a key. There's a conflict within the speech. So you need to overcome that. You need to have a self-realization, which is not done by yourself, wherein the self-realization always happens from a external third party. Could be a mom, could be, when you can write it down if you want, you have the recording later, you can check it up. Manoj Vasudevan's speech, okay, he was a world champion. His external influence was his mother. He had a conflict with his wife. External factor is his mother. Dhananjaya Hetrachi, his conflict was within, and the external factors were his wife actually, who can make him realize. So there are stories which been given by speakers, and the realization part generally comes from a third party influence. And before going to the closing, I always recommend to have a climax to a speech, because not many people, what they do is they do a opening, they do have a body, then they jump into the conclusion without knowing that the judges are not yet prepared to listen to the closing. So there's a wake-up call to the judges telling that I'm going to close my speech. Guys, be prepared. Like what Vinod mentioned, is that the attention span of the speaker or the audience is not much actually. Out of the 1 hour, what they are listening, the attention span is only 20 minutes out of the 1 hour, 60 minutes. And out of that, they are listening to one of your speeches, that is 7 minutes. And you need to get their attention back, which is the probability is very less. So for that, you need to prepare them with a climax. So if you are going for a movie, for that matter, what you do, when did you know that the movie is going to end? When you start packing, right? You start preparing that the movie is going to end. So I need to start gathering my things, my mobile phone, my handbag. I need to start gathering. When do you start realizing that the movie is going to end? There's a happy ending. There's a happy ending. Okay, the lovers get together, or they join hands, the parents agree, then there is a song or some sort of a duet happening. So then you know that there is going to be a closing, right? Or in many films we see the police comes in. So then you realize, okay, now the police has come, that means the movie is going to end. So you need to prepare the audience that the movie is going to end. Similarly, in a speech, because you're going to convey your message in the closing, which is going to take 30 to 40 seconds, wherein you need to convey powerfully to the judges. There you need to tell them, guys, be prepared. I'm going to give a closing remark. So audience are all geared up. I don't know. Now, most importantly, you need to hire a coach. Coach is someone who normally gets paid. If you have a mentor, you can approach a mentor. Who should be a mentor? I can tell you later actually, but not necessarily that you should choose a senior Toastmaster or a person who has won world championship, not necessarily. We have seen members being mentors who have time. The most important time is that they have time to sit with you and guide you to certain factors, and they know a little bit about speech crafting. Now, wherein they help you in writing the speeches. Someone proficient to write your speech that you can simply deliver, which I normally don't do. I don't write speeches. I, help them in crafting speeches. Although you can write, you need another perspective. So you can give me a raw content. We can make it in a very professional speaking content actually. So with this, I end the presentation. Are there any questions, please?
Yes, sir, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Sir, whoever joined in Toastmaster, actually they are not well known about the grammars, correct?
Grammar.
So when they're grammar.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So whenever they are crafting the speech, so they have to depend with. For example, if I'm writing the speech, okay, I'm crafting the speech, I'm sending to my mentor, and mentor suggesting to do some corrections. Okay, with these are grammatical mistake, you need to do some correction. Okay, so each time whenever I'm preparing the speech, I need to send to mentor or my coach. So they are correcting themselves and sending to us, and we are delivering the speech. Okay, so instead of that, my question is, so for example, I have invented some guests to our Toastmaster Club, I asked them to join. You can develop your own leadership skill and the public speaking skill. But the first question they asked me, okay, I am not well aware of the grammatical. So I don't know, if, for example, if I can write the speech, but there will be a more grammatical mistake. So how can we overcome this situation, sir? Especially from, I can say, maximum I approach Tamil Nadu people only. So they are raising this question. So for that, they have to go for the separate class for grammar and they have to join here. Or, so how can we convince them? Even me, sometimes I
It's
have
very
a
simple.
difficulty.
Yeah, it's very simple actually. You don't need to, tell them that, because people who come from the subcontinent, particularly coming from South India, do have issues with the grammar actually, because that the reason what I have identified is that they translate from Tamil to English. See, what they do is they start to, if I need to speak about a statement, they in their mind they start translating from Tamil to English. You got the point.
True.
You can try
True,
that
true.
actually. Any statement, any statement, whenever they want to make, what they do is they start thinking in their own language, mother tongue, and they start translating. So when you
True.
translate it, there is an issue coming with the grammar, because in Tamil grammar it's totally different, whereas with English grammar is different. So when you translate word by word, there is an issue coming in actually. This used to be happening for me when I joined Toastmasters, not joining Toastmasters, even before that actually, when I started working, then I realized that I shouldn't translate from Tamil to English. Rather, I speak whatever mistakes I make, I will overcome them actually. So this is what most of us Tamilians they face. I'm not boasting myself, but I'll tell you what one about my weakness now. If I want to speak in Tamil, I have to translate from English to Tamil. So this is where I am facing difficulty. I mean, all these years talking in English, for me, it's difficult to speak in Tamil in a larger audience, because I need to translate every word coming. So what happens? I mess up in speaking in Tamil, whereas it was not the case earlier. So this is where we can help people to overcome this. Actually, it's not a what do you call rocket science. Okay, it's a very simple process. We have grammarian in the house. We have mentors. When they come to speeches, we will help them out. I mean, for example, like there are certain words we really, speak without knowing that it's a mistake. Actually, we think that's the right thing, but I'm sure being in Toastmasters, you can easily overcome this. And I mean, if somebody asks you that, how can I overcome? Tell them, do you know swimming? Tell them, how did you learn swimming? Okay, we are not, masters in swimming. We are not the fish, but we go by the basics. I remember, like, I used to jump in the pool, and anyhow, reach the corner. But when I went for the swimming classes, my instructor told, whatever you know, you forget about it. Let's start over again. So Toastmasters is just a start over. We can really improve over the time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any questions, please?
I have one question, sir.
Yes, sir.
The first question Toastmaster Yusuf asked, because I am also facing this issue, because my language in my mind is Tamil. So every time, whatever I speak or write, so it will go to my mind as a Tamil, and then it will translate and then come into English. So the next thing is, while crafting the speech, I have informations and stories to prepare a speech, but I craft a speech, I prepare a speech, but it will not be in order or something. So it will be like cluttered. So organizing it will be a very big task. So whether this point I have to say it first, or this I should keep it for ending for strong impact. So how to overcome this?
Yeah, see, that's what I told. We are following the, chipping the rock. So what we need to do is, or you clay model method. Let's take it as a clay model method. Now that you have it actually, what I can do is next meeting I can do a workshop on how to craft a speech. I mean, within our members only. We will not go it from outside. We will choose a subject. We will pick up a subject, and literally we will craft a speech. Say within half an hour, we'll craft one speech for it. Topic is your topic. You can choose a topic. You can tell me, we will ask the members to add value to that. Then we will organize the speech. See, organizing the speech is the most important thing actually, wherein you have an opening, which has a compelling opening. Then you have the body of the speech. Then you have the body also is segmented. Then you have the closing. This is the organizing of the speech. Now, what comes in the beginning, what comes in the closing, how impactful it has to be there, we will be working on that speech. Okay, sir. So you will give us a speech topic, anything for that matter. We will have a compelling opening, a compelling body, and a compelling close. We will work on.
Sure, sir.
Okay, sir. Any other questions, please? Just to add one thing, actually, Yusuf and Toastmaster Damodar, just to add, you can Google Vikas Jingran. Vikas Jingran is 2000, if I'm correct, he was 2007 world champion of public speaking. Vikas Jingran is not a native speaker. He was staying in US and he did a speech, a very simple speech actually. And we were a bit surprised and shocked that how come such a person can win an international speech. It's not about the grammar. It was not about the pronunciation, the dialects, how you use fake American accent. Okay, it's not about that. This person spoke in such a manner. You can go and check Vikas Jingran. He was telling, I went to my Swamiji, and I was sitting with my Swamiji, and Swamiji called me. Believe me, this is the style of his speech. And he won world champion. So your style doesn't matter, your grammar at this stage is not, because that's what I'm telling, that you go through the judging ballot. If you go through the judging ballot, you have 100 marks, right? And out of the 100 marks, they focus only 5 marks for grammar. Only 5 marks is given for grammar. 95% out of that 50% goes to the content of the speech. Your balance remaining the body language and the voice modulation. Finally, you have only 5 marks. That's why I'm telling, go through the ballot. Every time you go through the judging ballot, you know if a judge, see, this is unfair. If a judge listens to the speech and he listens to my speech and says that, oh, his English is very poor, his grammar is poor, that means he can neglect my speech. No, that is very wrong. So that is what we tell in the judging, that don't do this mistake in giving priority for a grammar part and excluding, overlooking the speech itself. The speech in general should have, the content has to be more powerful. But what happens, sometimes we get carried away with the way they speak. I don't want to name the speaker. There was one speaker from Bahrain, actually. He spoke wonderful about his mother, how his mother used to take care of him, and she had some 4 lives and stuff. But the way he had delivered it, really, messed up the speech, because people started laughing to a very serious speech because of he was from West Bengal, and the way he was delivering the speech, people started laughing at, which I don't agree, but the speaker if had some training, this could have been avoided. Nevertheless, actually, we have more workshops coming up. We will surely identify things, how it can be done much better, actually. Now we move on to the general evaluation session. First of all, I would like to thank the members who are still here. Actually, this is a wonderful meeting with 6 participants. We have really made it successful, actually. First of all, kudos to all the members who have really participated, and thanks to Toastmaster Damodaran for making this meeting happen. I would like to really thank you for your dedication, and I wish that this dedication continues towards this term so that I can be a little bit relaxed. Now, talking about the meeting, before we go on to the other segments, let me call upon the timer to give the time taken by the individual speakers, the individual evaluator, the table topic commentators.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Today's table topic time record. Toastmaster Ramesh myself took 1 minute 15 seconds. Toastmaster Sugandhini took 1 minute 31 seconds. Toastmaster Damodaran took 1 minute 34 seconds. DTM Salim took 2 minutes 25 seconds. So all are within the range. And during the education session, our speaker Toastmaster Vinod took exactly 6 minutes. Thank you. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adhari Ramesh, for accepting the role of the timer at the very crucial moment. Now, let me call upon the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Vinod. Can I call upon the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Adhari Ramesh, please?
Thank you once again, General Evaluator. Today's speaker, Toastmaster Vinod, he given a wonderful topic of presentation of Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, successful entrepreneur, and who was also a well-defined public speaker. So today's workshop and he speak almost related, and we learned a lot from his speech, and he made a well defined and organized speech. During his presentation, he made a wonderful information and how to make the audience attractive by providing our positive attitude of watching TV and by reading the books. And so many examples he given for how Steve Jobs made his product successful with customers in the market. Instead of giving thousands of features, he given one successful product with audience success, customer satisfaction. He made a very clarity in his speech. His vocal variety was wonderful. His eye contact with audience, even though we are in online, it was very attractive, and he was in well comfort level. And also he provided his speech in well specific on his project. Only one suggestion on his speech is if he tried to make a presentation in a stand and speech manner instead of sitting, even though in the online we can try for that. It will be useful for his body language delivery of his speech. Apart from that, he made a wonderful presentation on his speech. Thank you. Over to General Evaluator.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toastmaster Adhari Ramesh. Can you just mention the time taken by you for the individual evaluation?
Yes, I took exactly 2 minutes 10 seconds.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your detailed timing and your in-depth evaluation. Now we'll be doing the voting for the best table topic commentator. I think the TMOD has already mentioned about it. Now we move on to the grammarian and the R counter report.
Good evening once again.
There was one
For
R
the-
which should be counted. Toastmaster Sugandhini, we started with an R, we will count that also.
For the R counter, almost everyone used R so many times. Damodaran used maybe and words so many times, and Muhammad Salim used you know words. Quote used by Vinod, learn continuously. Learn continuously. There always one more thing to learn. For the grammarian, I did not heard the word of the day. No one used. I don't know whether somebody used, but I listened so many
I used it.
I got connection problem, so only the falter used by you. The similar words nobody used. Over to
I
you.
did use 2 times. When you lost connection, I used 2 times.
Okay.
So I think I think all the Toastmasters used the word of the day when Toastmaster Sugandhini had some connection issues. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Sugandhini. So with this, I would like to thank you for taking up the role. Now we can't blame the technology, but next time we'll be very careful. But unfortunately, as far my knowledge, actually I didn't use it. Actually, thank you very much. So with this, actually, I would like to thank Toastmaster Vinod actually for sending the link. Though he's a new member of the Adhari, he ensured that everything is in place for the meeting. Actually, that link has been sent for the meeting. The constant follow-up has been done because it's not individual responsibility. It's not the TMOD responsibility. It's not the VP education responsibility. It's not the president responsibility. It's all individual. We take up the initiative to make things better. Actually, this is where I would like to thank all the members for joining me here. So today, can we have the before we move on, did we miss anything? As for the agenda, I think we have covered everything because I'm doing the role of G and the workshop presenter. I'd like to thank Toastmaster Damodaran for the wonderful jokes. Actually, this was more of personal joke, but a little bit of spice you can add it next time. Maybe when you deliver the speech, it is like the same joke. They have heard it actually, but you can tell them. Wife is coming and telling that why is this person doing like this, because he packed his own, so add some little bit of gestures and voice, so this will be really helpful. Toastmaster Agni Ramesh, thank you very much actually for being here. Toastmaster Yusuf, I think this is a very successful meeting and we are ending on time also. So with this, I would like to hand over control back to Toastmaster Damodaran.
Thank you, DT Mohammed Salim, for your wonderful education module as well as the general evaluation, sir. We all know our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who was a freedom fighter, whose unparalleled struggle made India free. Ramachandra Guga, who is a historian and biographer based in Bangalore, mentioned in his famous TED talk that Gandhi had 5 different careers in his life. 1, a freedom fighter. 2, a social reformer. 3, a religious thinker. 4, a prophet. 5, a writer. I like the most Gandhi as a writer. He wrote more than 90 volumes, which might be around 900,000 pages. Sorry, 90,000 pages. And his famous autobiography, The Story of My Experiment with Truth. Only great personalities like Gandhi could say, my life is my message. I was surprised and curious how a single person can do such a Himalayan task. Yes, they can. Because the great work they do, that great work itself gives the great power to complete their task. Dear Toastmasters, we shall also follow their path to become great leaders by doing great things, by doing well. Thank you, and over to President for the closing remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Damodaran. Can we have the announcement of the best table topic commentator?
Today's 455th meeting's best table topic commentator is Toastmaster Sugandhini.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Sugandhini. And we surely will share the ribbon for the best table topic commentator. And to be very honest, actually, we want you to take part in more table topics, and I'm sure you will be the future champion in table topics. Thank you very much. With this, actually, we adjourn the 455th meeting. I would like to thank you once again for participating. And the meeting, next meeting, the date will be announced by the VP Education. Since they are in India, I think they are not having connections, but we'll ensure that we have a date for next meeting. So thank you very much. Good night for joining in. Round of applause for all the participants. Thank you very much.
Shall we have a group photo? Can
Sure.
anybody can
Yeah.
switch on the video, please? Sugantini, Toastmaster Sugantini.
You're doing your makeup. You have to finish your makeup. That's it.
Yes. Ready? Cheese. Yeah, thumbs up, please. Ready? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
So we know let's ensure that we have ribbons for the best speaker, best evaluator, and best table topic commentator. Can you show them if you have it in stock, or we will register and ensure that next meeting we will be giving them ribbons for all the role players. Thank you very much. With this, I adjourn the 458th meeting. Thank you.
Thank
Now
you.
you can
Thank
have
you.
your own dinner. Actually. You can have your dinner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod.
Thank you.
Salim sir. Thank you, Toastmaster Sugantini.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Right.